Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show, the madhouse for film freaks and film fans of all types. I'm your host, Brian Coddington, my fellow co-host and filmmaker, John Woolscroft.
He took parts from all different human beings to create the perfect specimen. Whose dick did he take?
Oh,
the biggest one, I hope.
The biggest. Who is the voice? Who is the voice? Who could that be? Oh, well, it's our old friend and monster lover extraordinaire, Jordan the Grey Witch. She's back with us again. And of course, we had to bring on. Thank you so much for coming back. We had to bring you on because this was Frankenstein. This is right up your alley.
Thank God. I thought I could only hear that.
I requested Frankenstein last year.
You did.
Last year.
You did. Right after our Nosferatu episode, Jordan literally said, "Hey, guys, I know you're going to do Frankenstein. I don't know when it is coming out, but when you do, I need to be on there." And I'm like, you've got first dibs. Absolutely. Now, obviously, Jordan has been back a bunch of times this year, which we love having Jordan here. But honestly, we had to honor her request of coming on for Frankenstein. And let me tell you something. This was a fucking awesome film. Like, I will spit it right out of the bag. If you came here, do Brian, John, and Jordan like Frankenstein? Yeah, we really did.
Yeah, a lot. It was awesome.
You could speak for all of us. But one thing that I want to ask right out the gate to you guys is, well, first off, Jordan, have you read the book?
Not since high school.
Okay.
It's been a long time.
Is there, I guess there's a question of the faithfulness of an adaptation and how important that is, because this is a Del Toro movie, let's be honest, about Frankenstein. You know, I mean, it's not as egregious as like Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow, which is, you know, so far from, but, you know, if anything, the Kenneth Branagh one with De Niro from the 90s is a much more faithful adaptation of the source material, but not nearly as good of a movie. So how important is that to be faithful to the, and does an artist have the right to make something their own if it's based on another source material?
I mean, I think at this point, yeah. I mean, I really liked the film. So even that there were changes, of course, but they worked for the retelling. And I trust Del Toro. I'm going to be so honest. I'm just going to ride it all night. I swear when it comes to Guillermo, oh my God, he's the best. Okay. I'm sorry. I had to get that out of my system. Okay. Just, I knew that was going to come out first. I love his movies. That's why I wanted to be on for this. But when it comes to the inaccuracies from the original Mary Shelley, I think that they still work, like obviously at the end, like Frankenstein doesn't forgive, or the monster doesn't forgive Frankenstein. Like these things don't necessarily happen in the novel, but it really works to sort of round off the story in Del Toro's version, I'm going to jump to the end. We got to start from the beginning, guys. Someone get started.
Okay. Well, I'll finish your thought, or at least give my 2 cents on adaptations. I think that every medium is going to take and borrow pieces from the source material. And with Frankenstein being a novel that was written, over when it came out, like 18 something?
1818, I think.
1818. So we're looking at a little over 200-year-old novel. So yes, there are going to be changes to it. I think the changes in this film from the novel speak to the personal nature of the film, as well as the change in times that we're currently seeing. Like I will be perfectly honest with you. I think one of the biggest themes in this film is generational trauma and how we deal with generational trauma. And like that for me, I'm like, you're not going to see that in the original source material, but through Del Toro's eyes, you absolutely do see a story about generational trauma. And when do you break the cycle?
You mean the Freudian nature of falling in love with a woman that looks exactly like your mom?
I know you're really excited about that, John, but
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about literally the fact that Victor is terrorized by his dad, and then he terrorizes Tywin Lannister, Charles Dance. And then he's also terrorizing the monster who's not doing what he wants, very similar to how his dad treated him. And then at a moment of weakness, the monster tries to do what Victor had done to him, and which leads to, spoilers, Elizabeth dying. And it isn't until the moment when, Jordan, you pointed out, the monster forgives, that's the break in the generational trauma. And like, this whole movie is about that. Now, is that in the original? No. Am I okay with that? Absolutely. Because it's using Frankenstein as a vehicle for a much larger message, in my opinion, and a message that I think just about everybody can relate to.
Excited about that, Jordan. I don't know what you're my dad's penis. Talking about. Wait, what did I say?
What did you say?
That's so funny. You should bring up your dad's penis because I've got something to tell you.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Well,
there we go. Anyway, so
you have to scoop up some ashes.
Is that the one they used for him, by the way, your dad?
What?
For Frankenstein?
Oh.
For Frankenstein,
yeah. Penis for Frankenstein.
How mean would it have been if, like, Victor was then honestly projecting his childhood trauma so much onto the creature that he gave him the smallest dick? How mean would that be? They don't really show it, but I'm just saying, like, that's something Victor would do because he's a total dick in this movie.
Well, think about it, Jordan. There had to be some sort of thought process in Victor's mind of how big is the creature's dick gonna be.
But these are also the dicks of corpses on a frozen battlefield. How do you judge if somebody's a grower or a shower, really?
I love how we're 6 minutes in and we're already going into the monster's wang.
See, you know what? Bill said he's like, you're going to bring up dicks, aren't you? I'm like, I'm telling you, they're going to bring them up before I do. I can promise you that.
It's true. It's true.
Jordan, we're bad influences on each other.
What are we going to do? What do we just keep doing it, I suppose? So I'll actually talk about, so this movie had a $120 million budget. And I thought that was super interesting because I was like, money well spent, but 36 million of the $120 million budget went to the top billed cast. Guess who got paid the most?
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac comes in first with 17 million. Guess who's next?
He's pulling in 17 million, huh? I'm going to say
Jacob Elordi comes in next with 10. That's right. And then Christopher Waltz follows with 7 million, and Mia Goth got paid 2. So
what did they give to Charles Dance?
He got 500,000.
Oh,
wow. Okay,
that's kind of shortchanging Mia Goth because, like, Mia Goth in just about everything is gold.
I was waiting for this. Yes,
and then on top of that, like, the woman played 2 roles in the film.
Well, Brian,
we couldn't have gotten her 4. We couldn't have gotten her 4 million.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, Brian, she
so
has
that
a
was
vagina.
My biggest gripe
so
when I saw the money, I was like. And then I saw a lot of people arguing, oh, well, the other guys, and I can understand Christoph Waltz. He's a 2-time Academy Award winner. Yeah. He's going to get paid more no matter what. Jacob Elordi is literally the creature. And then, of course, Oscar Isaac's the title character. So they're going to get paid more. But 2, get my girl a bigger check. She played 2 damn roles. Can we double her pay, please?
Netflix. That's all I got to say. Netflix. I mean, the one criticism that I have heard about this film, and I disagree with it, is that some people felt that the movie itself looked like a more expensive. What was that?
Del Toro movie?
But well, no, there's that. But like they were saying, like it was almost like a Netflix film, like a Netflix direct film, rather than a big budget film. Because like if you compare the set design and everything of Crimson Peak to this, there is a little bit of a difference. I also go with it. I'm like, those are 2 different movies from 2 different times. CGI and technology have changed to make some things a little bit easier. But I don't get the criticism of why people were like, oh, well, it looks like a cheap Netflix film. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I don't trust those people who say that.
Yeah.
If genuinely the people that are like, oh, Guillermo del Toro, this Frankenstein sucked. I'm like, you know nothing about them. Well, we can't be friends.
You know nothing. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Get out of here.
Well, I think that there's a lot of hype going into this movie, because Del Toro, because it's October and it's a Frankenstein film, but also it's one of the biggest, I hate to use the word IP, but let's call it legendary stories of all time, that there's gonna be some people that are gonna want to just hate on it for that. It's, reminds me, like, if we had the internet presence we have now when The Dark Knight came out, for how much love that got. There would have been so many people who just would have shit on it just to seem, contrarian.
Yeah.
So they filmed The Dark Knight in Pittsburgh, as you guys know.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yes. And I remember during that time, it was awesome. This is when Twitter didn't suck. Twitter, there was a trending hashtag in Pittsburgh, if you guys remember. This is a throwback. Mm-hmm. But it was Operation Steal the Batmobile, because there were 4 of them and they were being stored. I think they were up in Moon or somewhere. They were storing them in like an airport hangar, and it was Operation Steal the Batmobile. And there was dead ass kids like following them on the trailer, like with cameras, like where are they going, like trying to find the Batmobiles. And anyway, that was just real fun time here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, no, I remember I was in grad school at the time when Dark Knight Rises was filming here, and we were filming a movie for Steel Town, and we were down the street from where they were filming in Oakland, and we actually could pick up their comms on our walkie-talkies.
Oh my God! You're
it was kind of
lurking,
funny.
like listening.
We're just like, is that Nolan? Is he talking? No.
Do you remember that scene in American Pie 2 where they're like listening to the lesbians on the thing? That's what I picture you guys doing that. But like, oh my God, it's Nolan.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be half wrong there. We would have totally done that.
No judgment. I probably would have been the same. No judges around here.
So let me ask you this. I mean, I kind of touched on this earlier. What are some of the big overarching themes? I mean, I mentioned generational trauma. Were there other things that you both saw in this film that kind of spoke to you on the theme side?
One of the things I think that this story really hits on, and it's kind of a gray area. Sorry, Jordan, just take the gray. But because there is a lot of advancements we can make with medicine, but the overall like playing God kind of thing, because there could be some beneficial things to what Victor Frankenstein has accomplished and discovered. The problem is that he's a megalomaniacal narcissist. That's really where the problem comes in. I don't know if so much that he's playing God as what kind of human being he is, but I would say that, the whole, know your lane and to know, that you are not God, you are but a man, no matter how intelligent or creative you think you may be. I'd say that's one of the overall arching themes here.
I also really like a lot of the parallels between the creature and Christ. And there's a lot of parallels if you actually look at the visuals of the film, and I'm sure Brian can go in and post and put the actual scenes, like as I'm talking, you're going to see it. But Possibly. When the opening scene, when he's still on the cross, essentially, and Jacob Elordi's up like this before he's brought back to life, it very much resembles Christ. And then there's another scene that I noticed today when I was rewatching it for this. But the scene where Mia Goth meets the creature for the first time, and I have a lot more to talk about this particular scene, but she reaches down and she's touching him, which, mind you, is super inappropriate for the time. She should never have removed her gloves. You would never have removed your bonnet in front of a man. You would never have done these things. So her relationship with the creature is both maternal, so, Mary, and also romantic. So it's sort of the Madonna horror complex that we have with her. And we see a lot of these recurring themes with her, with the creature throughout the film. But specifically the scene where she meets him for the first time and she goes, "Who hurt you?" But she has her hands on his ribcage, and right on his ribcage, there is a wound that's bleeding, and it's on her hand, and it's the exact same spot as the wound on Christ that the spear of destiny caused that killed him and took his life. So I think that theme, sort of seeing these Christ-like traits from the creature, that he's kind, that he doesn't want to hurt anybody, that he's sort of there, life birthed from death. And we see that theme recurring over and over again, that he keeps coming back to life. He keeps coming back to life. And even when he first gets his clothing, he literally pulls it off a corpse. So again, it's like life coming from death. And so I think we see this sort of resurrection theme throughout the film. And there are a lot of parallels to Christ himself. So I really love that. I think it was a beautiful retelling of that. And yeah, just, gives me chills thinking about it.
Frankenstein's Frankenstein's monster and Jesus, two of my favorite fictional characters.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, this movie really hits a lot of religious themes. Like you pointed out, obviously the Christ-like figure that the creature is. But I mean, you also couple that with like imagery of this dark angel that Victor kind of worships. And you're just like, why is he praying to this dark angel when it's like this dark angel is going to give him the knowledge and everything to create life, right? And then on top of that, like, I don't know, I really felt like the creature, his why I think Elizabeth finds him attractive as a character and everything is because he's without sin.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
It could also be, and I'm just throwing this out there, Jacob Elordi is 6'5", so
there is that.
Might have something to do with
there
it.
is that.
But he is pure. She mentions that he's pure. That he's purer than the common man.
Well, it's a thing. Like in every conversation that Elizabeth has with Victor, and even in like the first one, she talks about how she's kind of disgusted by the war that's happening at the time. Which I looked it up. I was like, what war could be happening at the time? It was the Crimean War. So like 1855, this time period. And so, you know, she's seeing the inhumanity in man, you know, thrust in her face from the fact her uncle is a war profiteer. On top of that, like Victor kind of is a piece of shit. You know, William seems like a nice guy, but he is in finance. And I'm not going to say that I've never met a person in finance who's a good person, but they're few and far between.
It is far easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven.
Yeah, so it's a thing like this woman is surrounded by nothing but people who are taking advantage of a society that is at this point in, you know, you could describe it as evil and decadent. And then we meet this creature who is as pure as can possibly be and is untouched by it. And that to me feels like a very, very religious kind of telling of this person's pure without sin. And spoiler alert, it's only when he starts to divulge into sin that Elizabeth gets killed.
Right. Yes.
Spoilers.
Well, it's also Del Toro's obsession with women to like want to be fucking monsters. Yeah, that's a big thing for him.
Yeah.
He is the king of monster fucking
really is.
Media. I'll tell you that. And listen, Frankenstein is essentially the flagship of Gothic romance. Okay. Like this, Mary Shelley started the monster fucker trend. Okay. Like she's the queen of Goth. Mm-hmm. But since then, Guillermo del Toro has run with it. I made that Monster Lovers movie list today for my channel, and it was like 4 Del Toro movies. So you're not wrong about Del Toro. He knows. I'll tell you what. That man knows the female gaze.
Even Hellboy, like
smash.
Like, Hellboy is a monster that what's her face, Selma Blair is into. So I mean, yeah, it's the same thing.
Absolutely.
Same thing. I'd bang that intellectual fish man first. So I'm obviously not a Hellboy
Shape of Water?
No, he's talking Doug Jones.
In Hellboy.
Yeah.
It's still Doug Jones.
Abe Sapien.
Same guy.
You would totally bang Abe Sapien.
That's the day. Okay, yeah. I obviously did not grow up reading Hellboy comics. But yeah, I know he's
or watching the movies apparently.
Yeah. I only saw both of them once. Yeah, wasn't my. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with them, but it wasn't my cup of tea. But we're not here talking about Hellboy.
Not here to talk about that.
One other thing I would say in terms of what the movie's hitting on, or the story in general, is it's really a huge commentary on like men like insecure about the fact that women can do one thing that we can't, which is create life. And they're emotionally impotent because of that. And
emotionally impotent. I love that.
That's a great one.
So yeah, he has to go out to, instead of like his beautiful baby, like, you know, he creates this visually this nightmare of a creature. Like that's the beautiful thing about the monster is the
subjective.
Jordan's like, did you see him? Because I was not a nightmare at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't kick any of those parts out of bed. But you know,
you've seen my man; he's a monster.
I know what your man's going to be dressed as for Halloween next year.
we actually already did the creature and the bride.
Oh, okay.
We did it in 2023, so I have pictures on my accounts. But yeah, we already did them.
Now you got to do it the Del Toro version. You know?
Oh, I was actually going to describe. I wrote it down in my notes. The creature's design. Do you guys remember? This is so niche. Do you guys remember Tool's music video for Schism?
Yes.
Long
Okay.
time ago.
That creature in post, you're gonna have to pull it up. Show Elordi as the creature, and then show the creature from Schism. The design, the movements. I'm telling you, someone was inspired by that because it is so similar. It's so similar, and I was like, oh wow, I knew I saw that somewhere before.
So I got a question for you guys, and but by the way, yeah, Mala and the Star Wars Holiday Special smash. No. That bitch can cook. She can do it all. No, but do you
I
think
suck Chewie, so
he uses crossbow on you? But
whatever the fuck he does, I can't do it.
What was this about? Frankenstein? Yeah.
Anyways,
Oh,
my
no.
question is, if you've never read the book, and let's say you have, the only understanding you have is maybe those toys like when we were kids of like where they rebranded the monster as Frankenstein, and that's all you know, or Frankenberry cereal or whatever. Do you think that people might be bored by the pacing of this, like especially younger people who are used to things like a little faster?
100%. Absolutely. I think probably they could have shaved off 20 minutes if I'm being honest. But I'm glad they didn't for the theatrical release. But I think the kids are probably gonna be like, this is boring, but they're not looking at the wardrobe design like I was, like this. Holy fuck. Like seeing the storytelling within the sets, within the wardrobe, within the color, all of those things that people who love and appreciate film are really looking at. The kids aren't looking at that. They're like, why isn't anything blown up yet? So of course we're gonna see some young kids that are like, it's too long, I didn't get it. But fuck them, they don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 2.5 hour long
Unless they
movie.
subscribe.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's a 2.5 hour long movie, and people have the attention span of micro, like mini nanoseconds. So, you know, it's a thing where I didn't see really any sort of fluff that I would cut out of this. I mean, I really didn't, because if you even look at other adaptations of Frankenstein, like there is a 2004 miniseries that's real faithful to the novel, and that one's like literally 2 movies, okay, that are stacked together. So you're looking at with that one, it's almost 4 hours. You know, Kenneth Branagh's version, I don't think that one was. I think that was 2 hours long. So I mean, the thing is this: the minute you start chopping things out of it, you start to lose some of the context and some of the important things. This was as long as it needed to be. I didn't think it needed to be any longer. I don't really think it needed to be any shorter, because it gave me it gave, at least for me, a lot of context of why the characters are doing what they're doing.
It's not even, for me, like where my question's coming from, it's not even a matter of length. Giggity. It's
Giggity.
you know, like Return of the King, for example, is an extremely long ass movie, but there's like battle scenes after battle scenes, right? You know, like after the opening sequence on the boat, you know, and they're shooting the monster and blowing up the ice and stuff. Then we go back to, you know, Victor Frankenstein as a small child, you know, getting reprimanded by his father because he doesn't, you know, he doesn't know everything about medical science at like 11. You know, it's a while before we even get the monster created. And I
think that's why they open with him. They open with him, so you see him straight away. So you're not like, we haven't seen the monster yet. So they open straight away with the past to loop back around to sort of finish it off. Which I'm glad they did, because as a monster fucker, we want to see them straight away, babe. Yeah, the more the better. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to wait halfway through.
Yeah, I also think we need to have the scenes with Victor as a kid. We need to have that. If, as I said, like I really truly believe that the main overarching theme of this film is generational trauma. If we cut those out and we just straight went into, you know, Victor doing his whole like song and dance routine in front of the religious people at his school, like we would have lost all of that trauma and all of that stuff that really tells us who Victor is. So, you know, I get that people came to this be like, yes, I want to see the monster. And you will. He's got a whole half of the movie is literally called The Creature's Story. But, you know, it's a thing where those little bits and pieces that maybe you might think are boring, they add up to the overarching theme of the film.
Yeah,
You know
because I completely agree, because you see him become his father and his relationship with the creature, but also, you know, I teach color and lighting, so I have to notice that as he is falling in love, he is wearing the same colors that his mother wore earlier, and I'm like, yeah, this one was for old Ziggy Freud out there.
Do we want to go into that one?
Talk about color, because I'm ready.
Well, I was going to say, do we want to talk about the fact that Victor
likes his own mommy?
Wants to fuck his mom.
Yeah. There's an Oedipus complex in there, I think. Methinks.
So, I'll be honest with you. I did not know that Mia Goth was playing the Victor's mother up until, I don't know, an hour ago.
Crazy.
I seriously didn't. So
I can sense her aura when she's on screen, so I knew it was her.
She has an aura. But I did not know that, and it clicked in me a bunch of different things, being like, yeah, there's a reason why Victor is kind of obsessed with milk, as you pointed out, Jordan, before we started, and why he is so enamored with Elizabeth, and why he feels very, very protective over his mother when his dad comes. It's not a mother-son relationship. It's a spousal type relationship. Like that's what I saw it as. I'm like, this guy's
emotional incest.
It's
right?
emotional incest. Yes. 100%. And I think, like, yeah, he kind of wants to fuck his mom.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, I mean, they couldn't have been any less subtle about it. You know, and I like the things that you can kind of explain away. Like if you were Victor Frankenstein, you'd be like, look, outside of alcohol, there's only 4 drinks in this world. There's milk, tea, coffee, and water. And I don't want caffeine in my system, and I don't really like tea, so I drink milk. It's like, it's not that you're clamoring for that boob juice that you lost. You know?
You really love the boob juice. And you really love stealing. You really love stealing your brother's like fiance away from him. Like,
yeah, he's just a dick the entire time. I mean, I think that what bothered me the most, and you're not supposed to like Oscar Isaac. You know, you're not supposed to like Dr. Victor Frankenstein, and he does a beautiful job at making you hate him. Especially for me, you know, the aspects of the childhood trauma that we see being repeated. What got me the most is that Victor openly lies several times throughout the film, multiple times throughout the film. He openly lies. He, first off, tells his brother that the creature has killed, you know, Christoph Waltz's character, which did not happen. He tells the wedding party that the creature attacked Mia Goth, like right after it happens. That did not happen. He openly lies throughout the film to protect himself. And I think the key piece of dialogue in the movie that made the most impact was when his brother is dying at his own wedding at the hands of Victor's creation. And he looks right at Victor and he says, "You are the monster." Mm-hmm. And then he dies because Victor is the monster. The entire time he's the monster. He's horrible to Mia Goth. He's stalking her. He stalks her into a confessional. He's trying to take his own brother's fiance. He doesn't care about anything other than the success. He doesn't care about the well-being of the creature. He doesn't nurture it at all. He abuses it. He doesn't teach it words. And then he's mad that the creature can't say words. And I used to train animals, you guys know. So during that scene, when he says up onto the table and the creature jumps onto the table and then he says, "Give me your leg," it's the exact same request as me asking a dog to give it its paw when I have not taught it this behavior, and then physically punishing it when it doesn't do the behavior. You can't do that. You have to teach before you can ask. So during that scene, that was particularly painful for me to watch, because as a behaviorist, I was like, oh, like you would never punish a dog for not just. And that's essentially how he's treating him, right? So that's why I'm using that analogy. I know he's not a dog, but that really hurt me, because I'm like, oh God, no, like you would never do that. And I think that's why a lot of the women that watched this movie felt sort of like a maternal type of protection for the creature, because we want to protect it because it's just a baby. He doesn't know any better.
He's a 6'5" strong ass baby. Yeah,
that's right.
Well, here's the other thing too, and this is a thing I noticed, and I'm curious if both of you noticed this too. So I thought that Victor's behavior was actually a callback to a earlier adaptation of Frankenstein. More notably, Peter Cushing as Victor Frankenstein in Curse of Frankenstein from the Hammer films. Because if you've ever seen that movie, Peter Cushing is literally an asshole who commits murder and doesn't care. Like in that one, it's a brilliant one if you've never seen it. But he kills his like former professor to get his brain and put it in his creature. And like that is exactly what this version of Frankenstein does. So like I think overall, like if we're talking stylistically, I think this does have a lot of callbacks to the Hammer films. But also Victor's kind of behavior, that very Machiavellian type of behavior, is absolutely a Peter Cushing Frankenstein.
There's a lot of homage in this. I mean, the story's over 200 years old. There have been plays, movies, other novelizations of it, other takes. So yeah, there's a lot to pull from there. Like it's Mel Brooks had a lot to work with when, in the 70s when he was making a lampoon of the movies. He had done all kinds of different various takes on it. Same thing he did with, Dracula Dead and Loving It. You had some of the Bela Lugosi stuff in there. You had some of the Gary Oldman stuff in there. So it's, there's a lot to pull from. And I'm sure as a fan of cinema himself, he's going to say, what have I liked? And then how can I make that my own?
Well, it was just a very different Frankenstein from Kenneth Branagh's version. Like Kenneth Branagh, even though he was an asshole, he came at it from a place of love. Like he loved his version of Elizabeth, even though yes, it was kind of weird because that was technically his sister. But just he came at it from a place of love and just misguided arrogance. But he wasn't coming at it from, I'm going to murder people in pursuit of my monster. Okay, but this version, Oscar Isaac's version, as well as Peter Cushing's version, very much has that I'm going to murder for my creature, and I'm going to lie, and I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to steal, and I don't care who it hurts because it can't come back on me because he absolutely is the monster. He
is the monster. Yeah. And when Christoph Waltz's character dies, right before he dies, he asks him because he's dying from syphilis, right? So he's dying. This character's dying from syphilis, and he says, "Put my brain into the perfect creation. You made this perfect body. Give it to me. I'm dying." And Victor Frankenstein's, that all of your organs are corrupted. That I can't put a brain that has syphilis into this creature and it work. You understand that? You're dying. None of your organs are good. You know this. Like he tells him no, and then that's how his character ends up dying because they have a kerfuffle over this. Like no, well,
he also doesn't fucking know though. Like he doesn't know. How the hell does he know? He's never reanimated a person before to know. Oh,
he's
I'm sorry.
Just telling him no. He's just telling him no, right? Like he's just being a dick.
Yeah,
because how does he know if any of the other body parts have?
He doesn't know. He's never reanimated a corpse before. How does he suddenly know? Oh yeah, no, your syphilis wouldn't be cured inside my 6 foot tall god over here. You don't know that. But then of course we find out everything with the creature is basically cured because he's immortal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, as you pointed out, John, like how would he not know if some of the other bodies that he used had syphilis in them? Because that was pretty goddamn common back then. That's like mouth herpes these days, like canker sores. So yeah, it's why if anybody wonders why everybody used to wear those powdered wigs back in the day, it's because they're covering up their syphilis sores. Yeah.
Yep.
That, and they used to wear like these really fancy nose cover things because their noses would fall off.
Yeah, literally rot.
Yeah.
Isn't that what's the gangster that died in prison? Didn't he?
Capone. Well, he didn't die in prison. Yes. He went back to his mansion and it just slowly rotted away. His brain rotted away from syphilis. He would actually fish in his pool. And he would sit on his diving board with a fishing line, and everybody's just like, well, at least he's not kicking up a fuss. He thinks he's fishing.
Yeah. You know what? Let him be.
Yeah.
In his waning years.
So, obviously, Jordan, I did want to take a bit of time to talk about the wardrobe within this film because
Is it my time?
it is your time. You yourself have commented about how much you love this, and I absolutely agree with you. So, what's your take on the wardrobe within this film, Jordan?
Oh my God. Okay. So the wardrobe in Frankenstein is absolutely stunning, breathtaking. Everything that Guillermo del Toro does is going to be a feast for the eyes, visual poetry, if you will. And it is that, but it has so much to do with the wardrobe. And the wardrobe itself in this film tells its own story. It tells the story. And I actually mentioned this on the video I made the other day when I was praising Frankenstein. But when you first see Victor Frankenstein's mother, Mia Goth's character, the first time you see her is sort of outside this giant manor, and she's wearing a red dress with this huge veil like on the staircase. It's absolutely breathtaking of a shot to see this. Just the wardrobe itself is gorgeous. But what got me about this wardrobe is this is the first time you see Victor Frankenstein's mother. It's when you're introduced to her. And not only is she wearing red, but she's wearing red in a very strange pattern. It's a chevron pattern, like especially like for the time. It's a chevron pattern facing down, and we know that this indicates her fate. It's gonna tell us what happens to her just by seeing her. You know that she's gonna bleed out because of the coloring and the direction of the fabric of her dress. Like that alone, if you understand film and you understand wardrobe, you're like, oh my God, like, and you know straight away, like before they show the scene, you know that she's gonna die if you don't know the story, right? So that alone, and that's just one dress. I can talk about all of them, okay? And I will if you guys don't stop me, but no, no, there are some other wardrobe. For instance, the Victor's robe, the colors red and green are recurring throughout the film. We see these throughout the film. And the more red that's in the film sort of indicates the more evil. And in fact, Dr. Victor Frankenstein wears red gloves throughout the movie. And this is sort of, to show the blood that's on his hands, to show his guilt. And we see pops of red kind of appearing over Elizabeth at certain times. We think that this could be foreboding of her fate. Her umbrella is red in one scene. The entire time she's wearing sort of a red rosary. And I think the best part for me with her wardrobe is that as she sort of moves along in the film, she goes these beautiful, lush gem colors, reds, greens, blues, just absolutely stunning pieces individually. But at the end, her wedding dress, I think, has the most to say from the wardrobe speak. And genuinely, it gives such an homage to the bride. She's even got the wrappings on her arms.
Yeah.
And the corset, like if you look at her bodice, it sort of looks like a rib cage, the way that it's made. It genuinely looks skeletal. And I mean, the layers of fabric in that wedding gown, the way that it moves is just so beautiful, so romantic. And then when she does, spoiler, get shot and she starts to bleed through that bodice, the bodice then turns red and sort of looks like a corpse. She looks like the bride. So could it be an indicator that Del Toro may be reprising these roles to bring her back for the bride? Could he? Maybe. Let's hope. But
I don't think he's someone who's going to do a sequel to this.
I don't think so either, but I would, that would be so nice.
Well,
but just.
Have you heard the rumors he wants to do Phantom?
Yeah.
I think he's
give it to him, please.
I think he's low key trying to make his own Universal Monster universe that
give
failed.
Give him Phantom.
Yeah.
Give him Dorian Gray.
Oh.
Give him. I mean, that's his strong suit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to see Del Toro take on these classics because he's already displayed over and over again that not only can he handle them, but he dunks them every single time.
Yeah, definitely. I know outside of the costumes, which absolutely were stunning, I was really shocked by the set design in this film and some of the different props. Like, for one, when Victor's mother passes away, and when Victor's father passed away, they had this really awesome coffin that I had never seen before. This coffin that almost looked like a sarcophagus.
Mm-hmm.
And had a cover for the face. And then I think I saw online an article, and it was saying that these were real. Like, they actually did these kind of steel encased.
Not for long.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine why. They're expensive.
Nope.
What was the
reasoning? They were exploding.
Well, there is that.
So because they sealed and they had that glass space plane over there, when you put a corpse in anything and seal it, there are gases that come out. So apparently those space planes were exploding out of there from the gases.
That's hilarious.
Human hot pocket, baby.
Human
I just
Hot
saw
Pocket.
a video of someone talking about it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I never even thought of that they would explode."
Yeah.
But
But they were.
Well,
What
if
I
they're
was
a
just going
human
to say
hot
was
pocket,
absolutely stunning.
yeah. If they're a human hot pocket, that means like right around the tummy area, they're still frozen.
Oh, you got to put them in for another 10 seconds.
Yeah.
oh my god. If we're talking about the coffin, we got to talk about the funeral procession because that goes back to the wardrobe. And when I tell you, I talked about the muffs that those ladies were wearing for like 10 minutes. I had to have Bill pause the movie.
They're
I
what?
was so excited.
Don't talk about the muffs.
The muffs, God damn it! They were. It's like not that muff. They're.
Good night, everybody.
They're hand warmers. The hand warmers the
Okay.
ladies were wearing.
Oh,
I was just going to say
it
you're
warms
talking
my
about
hand
muffs.
too.
I should have known better.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We opened this episode talking about Frankenstein's dong, and now you're talking about muffs.
Don't you blame me for that. You guys brought his wiener up before I did. I would have.
Hey, don't throw Brian under the bus. That was all my perverted.
No, that's all
ass.
John.
I think that was John this time. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
John
even
this time.
as guilty. It's usually me, to be fair. But the muffs, it's a wardrobe piece. They were
Yeah.
made out of feathers. Like I had to pause. There was an overhead shot of the casket, right? So we see the casket, and again, bringing it back to that pop of red that shows sort of like the evil and precursor to what's going to happen. So we see everything's black and white. Everyone's in black. It's snowing. And then, of course, we see the red face cap of this beautiful coffin. But the ladies, oh, my God, the muffs. I want one of those muffs so bad. Don't you dare use that soundbite.
I'm not going to.
And mark it.
And
It looks like 43 minutes, 26 seconds.
minutes in.
Don't you dare.
No, I mean, I just know like the overall set design of this film, I was really stunned by. And then you find out that Del Toro specifically said that he didn't want any CGI for the sets. So like those are practically built. You know, Victor's laboratory was practically built.
Oh,
which
yeah.
I had never seen any laboratory in any other film quite like that. Like I love the gritty look of the Mary Shelley's Frankenstein from 1994, like where you've got this big steel and copper type container that the monster sits in. And then if you remember back to that film, had this weird like almost amorphous bag thing that was filled with amniotic fluid, because in that movie they're like, yes, amniotic fluid is what causes the monster to be revived. Whereas this one, you've got this very striking giant hole that goes in the middle of the whole space with this carved Gothic gargoyle face in the background. It's absolutely
It's actually
stunning.
Medusa.
Oh, is it Medusa? Okay.
It's Medusa. Yeah. Guillermo del Toro actually said that he used Medusa on the back of the wall for Victor's laboratory because she's also another misunderstood monster.
Very so good.
He's so good.
He is really so good. But I love that it like mixes the two, because there are clearly fantastical elements in this with like the batteries that he has that charges. That's not something that you normally would see. That's more of a throwback to the 1930s Frankenstein, right? But he's mixing these two together in a way that really makes something special. I was absolutely stunned by the set design in this film.
But what carries everything though is great storytelling, because, you know, art direction and costume design and set design only can go so far. I mean, like Dick Tracy from 1990 is beautiful, but it's like a junk movie, you know. So it's
Shame.
No, that's a good example. I was like,
Shame.
oh, no, I feel that.
I love Dick Tracy. I don't care if it's a junk film.
but you know,
We're
it's
talking about Roger Rabbit. Are we talking about Roger Rabbit? No?
No, Dick Tracy.
Is that not the same?
No. I guess Jordan thinks they're both the same.
one of them is a wisecracking rabbit, and the other is Roger Rabbit.
I thought they were in the same movie. I thought they were the same guy.
Good Lord, you just lost your street cred, ma'am. And it's not like you're around our age too. You grew up.
I
with
thought
this.
you were talking about Roger Rabbit. I thought he had I thought they liked it a bit. I don't know.
That's the mashup we need is Warren Beatty, if you're looking for a way to go ahead and secure those rights again for another 10 years, just mash up Roger Rabbit and Dick Tracy, and boom, you got it.
Please keep me safe from Prune Face.
Oh boy, I'm never living that down.
No, you're never. That and Muffs. You're not living Muffs down.
I want that muff so bad.
Please don't say it like
that.
that.
Furry feathered muff. Oh my god! Listen, the ladies are. I know there's ladies listening, and they've seen the movie. They know the muff I'm talking about. I'm fixing to get one. I'll tell you what.
A furry muff. So what is it? A baby boomer or Gen X?
It's a furry. It's a furry. They had feathers too. It was feathered muffs. I'd never seen feathered ones before, so I was like, "Oh, I gotta get one, just so I can wear it to a funeral." You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. This is literally the sweaty balls episode of this podcast.
Yeah.
I totally was like, we're gonna go into this film like we're gonna be thinking about overarching themes. Nah, we're down to muffs and Frankenstein wieners.
Listen, it's not my fault. You guys don't know what a muff is. Okay?
It's fine. It's fine. It's cool. It's cool. We're 5-year-olds. It's fine.
Is that why they call them that though? Muffs? Like them because they're fluffy, because the muffs are fluffy? I never really thought about why they call them that.
Probably. Yeah.
Possibly.
Today, the more you know.
Do you guys want, because I just Googled it, because the thing is, the three of us really enjoys the movie. Do you want me to just tell you what the internet says, what some of the common criticisms are of this movie?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I have reviews too,
says.
by the way. I got some reviews from Letterboxd. But yes, please, what are the common criticisms that other folks are saying?
So, tonally inconsistent. Some critics found the film's serious dark tone to be at odds with the pulpier, more theatrical element, leading to a sense of tonal confusion.
They have never seen a Hammer film ever.
Well, or a Del Toro movie, for that matter.
Well, I mean, Del Toro is, in all of his stuff, he pretty much pays homage to Hammer films. That's what he does. You can see it clearly. So those tonal shifts, that's a feature, not a bug.
Deviation from the book's moral ambiguity. A common point of criticism is that the film makes the monster too sympathetic and portrays Victor as a clear villain, diminishing the original novel's moral ambiguity about who is the true monster. I mean, it's not as ambiguous, but I always thought it was pretty clear that man was the monster.
I mean, that's what I always felt.
So it's sort of a cautionary tale, right? That don't play God, right? Like that's the whole.
Yeah, as men, we should stick to making instead of life, we make what we do, which is death. Yeah.
Hey, you said it. Listen, men created whole religions because they were jealous they couldn't create. They had to make up stories. Oh no, women don't create people, men do. Like not in the history of never did a man birth nothing. That's why I think it's this sort of bastardization. The story of Victor Frankenstein is that it's a man trying to create. That ain't your job, baby.
Jordan,
let women do that.
I don't mean to embarrass you, but you're wrong. I saw this documentary called Junior, and Arnold Schwarzenegger gave birth to a baby. So
he did.
I stand corrected.
There you go.
Great documentary.
Well, no, I know there are people who identify other than the female gender that can get pregnant. So let's throw that out there. I don't want to get. Listen. Right.
We're talking chromosomes, not.
We're talking. Women are the ones that create, right?
Correct.
And so religions are wrapped around. No, men. We made you out of a rib.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, dude.
No.
All right. There's two more here.
Babe.
Two more here. Narrative complications. Some viewers felt that additions to the story, like a more detailed backstory for young Victor, were unnecessary additions that complicated the narrative and increased the runtime without a clear purpose.
Wrong. I mean, I'm sorry. I think that having if we look at this movie for what it is, and let's just take the narrative of the book out of it, and that's because honestly, the way I believe that you have to judge these sort of adaptations is you almost have to take your preconceived notions and that source material out of it and just look at what we've got in front of us. It's a generational trauma movie. That's what it is. So if you removed all of Victor's backstory, as I said earlier, we lose that. We need to have that there. If that's not there, then we don't know why Victor acts the way he does. Does it give him an excuse? No. But it does inform us why this person is as horrible as they are.
And yeah, if you are a victim of trauma, and I'm not trying to sound overly simplistic here, but you can either go down the same road or you can rise above it and be the polar opposite of your trauma, so, and Victor chose the former.
He did, but his creature ends up redeeming the generational trauma and breaking it eventually.
I love that closing sequence when it comes full circle, because essentially the first time that Victor meets the character, you see him sort of pop beside the bed frame, right? He goes to sleep and wakes up and the creature is there. And the first thing he does is sort of open the curtains and show him the sunlight. And he says, sun is life. And he sort of puts his arms out like this to the sun. And that was sort of the beautiful moment between Victor and the creature, where the creature didn't know Victor to be evil yet. He still looked at him like a god, as the only thing he knew. And so that sunlight, and then come full circle 2 years later to when the creature watches Victor die after he's forgiven him. He helps push the ship back into the water, and then he stands there on the ice alone. He lowers his hood as the sun is rising, and he sort of looks at the sun again, realizing that he's living just like Victor has told him. Now that you're alive, you live. And he said the sun is life. So it comes full circle from the first time that they meet, and they show that sun is life. And then they literally close on the sun rising on the creature. Fucking visual poetry. I tell you what. Round of applause for Del Toro, as always.
And then lastly here, pacing issues. Some viewers reported that the film's pace was slow, with one user's husband falling asleep during the movie, said Reddit users.
Okay.
I think, again, as I mentioned, if you don't have any sense of the source material, I think you probably expected a monster fight scene every 10 minutes, and you didn't get that.
If you want that, there is a movie from 2000, I believe 6 or 4, called Van Helsing. And you can watch that.
I think that was 2004. Yeah.
Was it 2004?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
You know what else is a really good depiction of the Frankenstein's creature? Penny Dreadful.
Yes. But people, here's the thing, Jordan, the people that John is talking about might find that to be boring, because
and those people shouldn't be watching movies like this. They're not for them. Okay.
Well, that's
the Minions movies playing down the street, baby. Go have fun. This isn't for you then.
Exactly. That's my point. Is like, this material is a gothic horror film. Like, it has romantic elements. It's got gothic elements. It's got all this stuff mixed in. It's not an action film. If you wanted that, there's about a bajillion B movies that have Frankenstein versus somebody that you can watch, and you'll get that. You'll get that fix.
Yeah.
I don't even see this as a horror movie. I see this more as a kind of a sad sci-fi film. It's...
I would consider it a gothic romance.
I consider it gothic romance.
It's definitely a sci-fi. I mean, Mary Shelley is the mother of sci-fi. She essentially invented the genre. So definitely sci-fi. He heals, he regenerates. There's really no ifs, ands, or whys as to why he does this. So obviously science fiction. But other than that, like, it's very gothic. It's very, dark. It's going to make you feel things. I think it's, like I said, it's a feast for the eyes, but it's also a feast for the mind, because you're sort of reliving this trauma. You're going through this journey. This isn't like watching a movie. You're not going to go in like a Marvel movie and be like, hell yeah, brother, come out. They're going to play a rap song at the end. Everyone had a great time. That's not this. This is a dark gothic romance that's based on a classic piece of literature that people love. It's a cult phenomenon. It's made its own genre. If you are not already into this genre, you're probably not going to like this movie. And if you do, great. But it's not made for those people. It's not made for people that want to go see the next, whatever the fuck. It's made for people who, it's not right. It's not for Marvel fans. It's for people who love film. And if you aren't familiar with Del Toro, going into this might be strange. It might be a culture shock, and the people who know and love Del Toro, we're like, give it to me.
Yeah. So let's jump to some reviews. These are I'm just going to read the top ones here. So first off, men want to give birth so bad it's crazy.
I told you. They made whole religions about it.
They did.
Obviously,
They
I
did.
wanted Jordan to say something first, but yeah, it's true. I think men want to have the ability to have birth because I have a firm belief that there would be a drive-through abortion thing at a Walgreens on every block if men could get pregnant.
I don't think that
100%.
men want to give birth. I think men want the power.
They want what they can't have. Yeah.
I think they want that power, the power that it is creation. They don't have that. So they, not without us. So that's the thing. I think, oh, well, it takes 50-50. No, babe, it takes you 30 seconds. It takes us 9 months.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one of those things that because men do not innately have that power, they feel threatened and less by it.
And that describes patriarchy in a nutshell.
Boom.
In every
Right there.
religion.
Wait. Patriarchy. Okay, so Jordan, what patriarchy is
What you're doing right now.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go to review number 2. Sigmund Freud would have so much to say about Victor Frankenstein's relationship to milk and the love of his life looking just like his mom.
I think they meant wife, but yeah.
Yeah.
We've kind of hit on that. Yeah.
Yeah, the man wanted to fuck his mom. Okay, and his brother's fiance apparently looked just like his mom.
So his brother also wanted to fuck his mom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although here's the thing,
Runs in the family.
his brother didn't know what his mother looked like.
Oh, that's interesting. Right. She died in
That's-
childbirth.
She died in
Yeah.
childbirth.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
I
Just-
guess he's not as icky as
He's
old
not as
Vicky.
icky.
Not icky as
Yeah.
Vicky.
no. Yeah. It's a weird thing that honestly, like, I don't think that's in the book at all. Like, I think that's just a Del Toro thing. But I think that does present some of the issues here when it comes to the relationship of fathers and sons, because that is very much present here. You know, like, obviously there's generational trauma is the overarching theme, but the relationship of fathers and sons and this whole idea that, you know, there's the Oedipal complex, Jordan, as you had brought up earlier, of you kill your dad and marry your mom. That is very much present here,
Mm.
like in spades. And
Mm.
it's kind of gross.
Victor does refer to the creature in his dying moments as his son, though, several times. So I think that does come full circle, sort of
Yeah.
like the generational healing,
Mhm.
because he does then acknowledge the creature as his son. He apologizes to him and says that he's riddled with regret for what he did. So on his deathbed, he does then, beg for forgiveness, and the creature forgives him. That's the cure there. That's the cure of the generational trauma, is the forgiveness. And then he goes out, like I said, into the ice, back to the sunlight. Sun is life. So I love the way that they tied that together. And I think the people that maybe are negatively reviewing this film aren't looking at it in depth like we are. They're just looking at it for the surface and like, oh, not enough guts, whatever. I don't know. But if you can watch this movie and just genuinely say that it's bad, and I just genuinely don't trust your opinion on movies.
Yeah.
There wasn't a single pair of titties in this whole movie, man.
There wasn't. I was surprised.
But there were muffs.
Lots of muffs. We were
Actually,
riddled with
no,
muffs.
John, you're wrong. The scene where Christoph Waltz is doing the Memento Mori, that model
the model,
was in sheer.
you see,
Yeah.
you see her through a little
You
bit.
could see her through a little bit.
All right.
So, yeah.
Well, I take it back, man. Now it's 5 stars because I saw some titties.
All right. Let's go to review number 3 here. How to make Jacob Elordi in my basement tutorial.
Does it come in like easy bake oven?
Yeah, it's it. You gotta have the right light bulb to cook him at the right time.
No, wait, dead ass. Do you guys remember creepy crawlers from the 90s?
Yes,
Like,
I had one.
Yeah,
I had
you
him.
like cook them in the little thing.
Yes.
Oh, there was one kid. He had like basically a small business on the back of the bus because he would just make hundreds of them and selling them at like 50 cents a pop, and just like, and like if you didn't pay him by Friday, he was there to like crack your legs,
Over creepy crawlers?
like, where's my money, bitch?
I mean, the only thing I remember from that is because I had the creepy crawler machine myself, is the smell of burnt plastic rubber.
Oh, the rubber, yeah.
Oh, it's like a nostalgia, but at the same time, you're like, this is toxic.
Oh, God.
Not to venture even further off topic, but did you guys ever have a Dr. Dreadful food lab?
Yes, it did.
Oh, my God. Do you guys remember that fizzy one?
Oh,
Yes, I had the drink lab. Yeah.
Everything tasted like ass, but you were so proud of yourself for making it.
Oh, so excited to make it. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, we had all these. I miss the 90s.
We had some badass toys in the 90s. All right, let's go to our last review here. Victor actually tries to be a father in this version, and he's somehow even worse at that than usual. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the worst of the daddy issues.
Victor's, yeah.
Not as bad as what you had mentioned earlier, Brian, but yeah. Is there any way to sort them to see the 1-star reviews on there?
The 1-star review? I mean, I can. Yeah. Let me
There's going to be typos in
I'm-
all of them. I just know it.
Well, you want half star or 1-star?
Let's go half star. I want to see over under how many woke comments are going to be in there. This movie's woke. It's a DEI movie.
Right now, we're at the very top.
My pronouns are fucking you.
They never left Bama either.
Here's a good one. I'll show this one here. This one says, "I'm so tired of basic bros who think they know better than Mary Shelley. Please just stop. You're embarrassing yourself."
Is she referring to Guillermo fucking del Toro as a basic bro?
Yes, she is.
Well,
That's a dude with a chick's pick on there. Ain't no way.
that's not. He's not saying that he knows better than her. He's adapting her work out of respect.
Yes.
Out of admiration as a passion project for his whole life.
I'd be like, would you say the same thing about Francis Ford Coppola and Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Oh my God.
No, you would just say
Mary Shelley can't make it, babe. She's been dead for 200 years. Like,
I hate to break it to you, there were no films in 1818. Sorry.
Yeah, you have to wait another 60 years or so. 67
Yeah,
years.
by the way,
that's a very big deal, by the way, is like I'm seeing the reviews here. There's another one that's let me share this one. Every time a man adapts a woman's work, especially one that's rooted in her body, her pain, or physiology, it gets stripped, glamorized, and repackaged as some tragic masculine aesthetic exercise. I mean, come on.
What's the woman's pain in the original novel? It's the pain of literally all the men in the first one.
Yes. And
like, Mary Shelley literally wrote the novel when she was trapped in a mansion with her betrothed and Lord Byron, right? Yeah. They even closed the movie out with a quote from Lord Byron.
Well, from one of their second fuck parties.
Yeah. Mr. Victor Frankenstein is essentially the insert into the novel because Lord Byron was so intolerable that she excluded herself to write Frankenstein, mind you. And Victor Frankenstein was the insert for Lord Byron. So the fact that they actually gave a decent quote from Byron at the end of the film jarred me because I thought they were going to kind of throw him under the bus. But the quote that they closed the movie out with was, "The heart will break, yet brokenly live on." Lord Byron. Mm-hmm. Which I loved. I thought that was an excellent way to close out the film. But I was surprised. I was like, because Mary Shelley didn't like Lord Byron from my recollection, right?
No,
I saw this, and you could let me know what you think of this one. But I saw in the comments of one of the forums online that someone said the night in the castle that they were in this villa, right? So like Mary Shelley, her husband, and Lord Byron, like all running around, getting high, writing novels, whatever they're doing. I want Hollywood to create a movie of that night.
I think they have a couple times.
Well, there's a drunk history on it.
There's I believe there's one called Shelley that is it's a recent one. I think it's on Tubi that it has Elle Fanning as Mary Shelley.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about this.
Yeah. Well, it's on. It went to Tubi, which is nothing against Tubi. I love Tubi, but sometimes you get these like gems that end up popping up over there. But they have done that. I think the movie Gothic is also about Mary Shelley. It's more of a fantasy one, but it's also about Mary Shelley and Lord Byron. So it's been adapted a bunch of times, but I think it's due for another one. So I totally agree. But I guess like with this comment and then the previous one, the thing that gets me is like it misses the fact that like you can adapt things and change things around based off of the personal feelings of the director. Like, it's been stated multiple times that Frankenstein is like Guillermo del Toro's favorite character, its favorite story. So, like, there is a lot of personal feelings that this filmmaker has related to this story. And so, yes, I get where these commenters are coming from, but at the same time, this is Guillermo del Toro's like personal feelings about what he's gone through. Like, I almost am like, is he telling me that he's dealt with trauma? Because that's what it feels like.
I think there has to be a personal element to, to reflect the movie itself, but also, Guillermo del Toro knows what he's doing. Going into a del Toro film that you're gonna get a hot monster. Okay, that's like a given. Every single one. I mean, Hellboy, Crimson Peak, hello, hot ghosts. We've got Shape of Water, hot fish. Okay, we've got Pan's Labyrinth, hot fawn, hot weird finger guy. Listen,
Nightmare Alley, hot Kate Blanchett.
I'm telling you right now. Every single movie has got a hot monster, okay? And he knows what he's doing. He knows what the female gaze is when it comes to every single film we see is a beautiful woman, falls in love, gentle monster, okay? That is the dynamic. That is what works. That's what women want to see. I'm telling you this as a representative of my people. Monster fuckers united.
Monster fuckers united. Well, it's also a thing, like, we reviewed Nosferatu, and that was a very personal film for Robert Eggers. No one went and said, it's not like the other, it's not like the original, it's too weird. It's like, no, you can see that this is a personal love letter to this character. And that's why I feel that Frankenstein is. It's a personal love letter from Guillermo del Toro to Mary Shelley, and to that his own connection to this character in this film. So, like, I disagree with these people saying, your man's takeaway. It's like, dude, you don't get it.
I think it doesn't matter what gender Guillermo del Toro is. I think it shows in the film how much he loves and appreciates the original source material,
Absolutely.
The story itself, the characters, filmmaking in general. And I'm going to be honest, I think that the casting was brilliant. I think they did an excellent job with the casting. Like Jacob Elordi's very tall. And I did see this online. The only person that would have made a better Frankenstein is deceased. And it's Peter Steele from Typo Negative, because he was like 6'8".
Yeah.
And so I saw that and I was like, okay, I'll give him that. But
did you know that Andrew
away.
Garfield was going to be Frankenstein, the creature?
I did hear that.
No, I'm so glad they didn't. There's no way. No way. No, they needed somebody tall. They needed somebody tall and sort of. Yeah, it worked, and I looked up. I had to look up the characters' heights. So I'm 5'9". Oscar Isaac is also 5'9". Mia Goth is 5'10".
I just looked that up too. Yeah.
I'm actually really, really glad that they paired Mia Goth with the creature, because sometimes they do a really extreme height difference. And I think that would have detracted from the story if they had done that. The fact that Mia Goth herself is tall and could sort of look at him eye to eye really worked for me. And I'm saying that as a tall girl, because they almost always cast like a really tiny woman and then like a really tall guy. Yeah. And it looks almost childlike. It looks, you feel me?
Yes.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
And I really like the fact that she's tall, he's tall. It sort of showed that they were on the same page. So I really like the casting. I thought everyone did such an excellent job. I'll watch anything with Christoph Waltz in it, tell you that. And Absolutely. Oscar Isaac portrayed, I think, a narcissistic, megalomaniac perfectly.
Well, I mean, he did have practice. Like, he also played a mad scientist in that one robot movie that got him famous. Remember that one? I'm going to look this up.
All I'm getting is like that monkey playing chimes in my head. I can't think of what you're going for.
No, there was a movie that he was in, Ex Machina.
Oh, Ex Machina. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Same sort of Victor Frankenstein-esque character who's also an asshole.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
I wonder if 5'9" had to be the cutoff for the height for a Victor Frankenstein, because, you do want that disparity of the monster's height compared to the creator. because if Oscar Isaac was 6'3", you would barely notice, you know.
Right. It didn't look like, I mean, that they used a lot of perspective shots too within the film to sort of make him look even bigger. There's scenes from him behind where he just looks super big, and Oscar Isaac looks even tinier. But that's intentional, right? He's supposed to be huge. He's supposed to be lumbering and terrifying, right? So I think it was cast beautifully.
Definitely. Well, final thoughts on Frankenstein. Jordan, we'll start with you.
My final thoughts on the movie, I genuinely nothing but praise for Del Toro and the entire cast, like I've said the entire podcast. But Kate Hawley, shout out to her, the costume designer. Kate Hawley, I hope you get nominated for that Oscar, girl, because that wardrobe in that film, stunning. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, no, I feel. I hope she gets nominated. I hope she wins. I just worry because the Oscars, the Oscars notoriously don't like any genre films, and try to take a shit on any time that we get a foothold anywhere. It's like, well, they always go back to like, oh, remember Silence of the Lambs? You guys won. It's like, yeah,
in 92,
in 1991. So it's like
91, yeah.
It's like, it was the 1992 Oscars.
Well, yes, 92 Oscars. So it's like, yeah. Throw us a bone here, maybe in this century. Crazy concept there.
Yeah.
Right.
But John, what about you? Final thoughts on Frankenstein?
What I liked is that it was a fairly faithful adaptation of a book that I very much love, but it was a Del Toro movie. And I know that for some people that could turn them off because it's so clearly you're watching, a Del Toro movie. But I think that making it his own, and being honest to who he is as a creator, was one of the things that I very much loved about it. Being able to see a story I already loved from a director I loved, doing it his way, and yeah, I mean, I'm one of the few people that like the 94 version, but for this one, I'm glad that he made it his own.
Yeah, I also love the 94 version. So I'm not you're not the only person, John. But I loved how different this was. Like it different in a good way. I love that it did deal with really a topic that I think more films need to touch on, and that is generational trauma. There is issues where you hear about it in on social media where you have parents who are like, "Oh, my kids aren't talking to me anymore," right? And it's this generational trauma. It is, and you hear about people who are repeating the mistakes of the past over and over again. And to see Del Toro make Frankenstein more of a message on that, and a message on the relationship of fathers and sons, and when you break that cycle, that for me, I was not expecting. And it was something that really struck me while watching this. I'm like, man, I was not expecting that this film would go down this path, but it was refreshing to see, because I was absolutely expecting a rehash of other versions. But Del Toro knocked it out of the park in this one. And I hope he does make a Bride of Frankenstein. That would be kind of cool. I'd be down for it. I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to, as you said, John, kind of make his own Universal Monsters deal with this. But Frankenstein was great. I wish, and this was something that oh man, Netflix dropped the ball on this one. I wish they really did do a full theatrical run of this film, because I know you guys didn't get a chance to see it in the theaters. I did. And man, it is such a different experience than watching it on TV.
I'm truly jealous. I was in Italy. I remember.
Well, I mean, there was that. You were in Italy,
going, and I was truly jealous. Though I was like, I think I was sitting at the airport. I was like, Brian's watching Frankenstein right now.
Yeah, you were in Italy. I think you'll survive.
It was for my sister's wedding. It was beautiful.
It's important you were there. I saw the pictures and video. It looked like you had a beautiful time.
It was.
I don't think you'd trade.
No, but I was truly jealous that you got to see it 2 weeks early and in the theater.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
No, you're not. It's okay. I'm glad for you. I'm so glad for you.
Next time you guys come in. So Jordan, what's going on with you? Anything new on your
gosh,
front?
yes. So I've finally done it, guys. I'm on Facebook now. So you can
Wow.
find me at Jordan the Grey Witch. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and also Blue Sky. Oh, and YouTube.
And
And
YouTube.
YouTube. I have all the accounts now. I know everyone's been on my butt about it all for years now, but you got to get on here. So I'm finally on there, so you can follow me at all those places at Jordan the Grey Witch. And also, I know this is going to come out after, but I'm hosting the food drive this weekend here in Pittsburgh. I'm so stoked for that. We've already raised over $6,000 for the Pittsburgh Food Bank, and the food drive hasn't even started yet. It's all digital donations. So I'm really excited about that. I'm so proud of our city for coming together in these times. And yeah.
No, it's impressive.
That's what's going over here.
Impressive. It's impressive what you've been doing with the food drive. Like, I just saw it pop up, and I'm like, that's awesome. And of course, at a time when it's kind of hard to survive.
I got to say, Jordan, you put that together in a snap.
Yeah, you did put it together in a snap.
That benefit in a snap.
When I do this stuff, like I said, Bill was like, "How does this always happen?" He's like, "You'll decide to do something, and then the next day it's this huge production, and we're like filming a movie." And I'm like, "I don't know how it happens." Like I'm so grateful that it went this way, but I didn't know how big it was going to be. I didn't know how many people were going to be immediately on board, but the response from it has been so wonderful. So, I'm gonna have to do it again.
You'll have to, yeah.
I have to do it again.
Yeah, and you'll have us there too next time. Right?
Yeah,
we'll show up and give people food. But awesome.
Stay home and get better first.
Yeah, yeah. No, this was the thing where, like, peek behind the scenes, folks. We were supposed to record this one in person, but I got a cold, as you all heard for the past hour and a half. So yeah, no, that's fun. That's why I don't go outside. Went outside for 1 weekend and boom, got hit by cold.
You got to drink some ginger, honey, and lemon in hot water. It'll really help.
Yep.
It gave him a cold.
Gave him a cold. Well, John, where can they find you at on the internet?
You can find me also on the Facebooks and the Instagrams, and over at Jada's Video Nasties. I would say please enjoy the back catalog for now. I am moving, and it is consuming my life, but I should be back for more, Christmas-themed goodies. I might even be talking about the blackface and trading places for Christmas. Guess that's in there.
That's in there.
And I have a very interesting video I want to tackle about for the last thing you think anybody would talk about with the Star Wars Holiday Special is actually the commercials. And one year I was watching the holiday special and I'm like, these are commercials about everything that Reagan destroyed just a few years later. That they're talking about unions, and you see all these things about weather reports of like snow when it's supposed to snow and like how global warming has changed the world. So it's an interesting thing where I want to talk about how the commercials were what we were heading towards an American dream until they put a C- doofus actor in the White House, and nothing's been the same ever since. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, if you have loved this episode, please do me a favor and share it. Share it with your friends. Share it with your favorite monster lover, or someone who loves muffs, and
Here we
or
go.
someone, or I mean, it's got to come back, or someone who really has an affinity for monster wieners. But. But anyway,
I've corrupted you all.
You have corrupted us all.
Look what I've done.
You've done it. Yeah. So, or you can go to cinemapsychoshow.com/follow, and you can follow us on your favorite podcast platform of choice. Or if you're watching us here on YouTube, please do me a favor and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell so you can get notifications, and of course, leave us a comment. Let us know what were your thoughts on Frankenstein. Did you like Del Toro's changes, or are you more of a, hey, I like the traditional way, I don't want my Frankenstein changed? Let us know what your thoughts are. And with that said, we'll see you next time.
Monster wiener, big dark hole, big black hole, muffs.